Okay, let's talk about tomatoes. When you go to buy your tomatoes at the box stores, you're going to see a big sign on the front of the flats of tomatoes, and these are really helpful for you. So one thing you want to look for is disease resistance. That kind of keeps all kinds of things from killing your crop. You want determinate or non-determinate, indeterminate right here. Oh, right here. That means determinate is a determined time. So I planted 6 celebrities that are determinate, and they'll all ripen at one time. Good for salsa, rotel, things like that for your canning. Indeterminate means they go season long, from summer till fall, and you'll just keep getting tomatoes. Also, your fruit size is on here. So do you want like a little tomato, or do you want a big slicer tomato where it covers the whole sandwich? On this variety, it grows just kind of a medium size, 6 to 8 ounces for one tomato. And then you also want to see your harvest times. So the smaller the tomato, the quicker they'll put on. This one's 75 days. Cherry tomatoes are probably 60 days because they're small. The big beefsteaks that get like a pound to 2 pound fruits, those are probably 95 days. So it's just how soon do you want. So like I said, I planted 6 celebrities, which are already in the garden. And this one is a better boy. So a better boy makes a good sized tomato. And in the South, the beefsteaks they're not good performers because they're so big and it gets hot and it's just kind of tough on them. So on the back of the tag, it's going to show you. It's got what its disease resistance against, the size, the harvest days, the same thing it was on that. So you really want to kind of look at that before you decide what tomatoes you want. And all of these are disease resistant because why fight something you don't have to? That's why they've hybridized them to help you, the gardener. So when you get ready to plant, you're going to want to take all these lower leaves and limbs and cut them off. Because if you can see, there's little bitty hair fibers on here. Those can all be roots. And the more root system you have, then the more roots you're going to have, and the deeper down the better they're going to perform. The roots are going to go deep. You're going to have a lot. So there's also something called end rot, where the bottom of your tomato, whether it's green or red, is like gushy and brown. And that comes from lack of calcium and not consistent watering. To water, they really need like 1 to 3 inches a week. So it's better for you to water deep once a week than to sprinkle them every day. Let that water just soak down in there. I don't like to water overhead once they get up some size because that leads to some fungus and stuff. I just lay the hose in between the rows where you saw how we had bermed them up, and it'll fill those troughs, and then the side dirt will absorb it. I just do that for it takes about 1.5 hours altogether to do our size garden. So you go down one row and let it get good and saturated, and you move it to the next row, and then you move it to the next. Then your leaves don't get all wet. You know you're watering in really well, and about once a week, that's all you have to do. And another one of my favorites is Early Girl. So the name is what kind of performer it is. These are mature in 50 days. So these will be one of your very first ones to come on. You'll get these tomatoes before any of the others even, when the other ones are blooming, you'll be picking these tomatoes. So I really like these. They are also disease resistant. So in less than 2 months, let's say if you plant now, by like the 1st of June, middle of June, you're already going to be eating these tomatoes while the other ones are setting and putting on. And then your big ones will come on. Your celebrities will come on probably about the middle to the end of June. But I love them to all come on at once, and you're not trying to save a few tomatoes every week just to be able to make your big pot of salsa. So when they all come on at once, you can go out there and harvest a big bucket full, and in one day you can mix up gallons of salsa. And I'm telling you, you're gonna love this salsa recipe. All right, well, there's our input on tomatoes, and happy gardening.